Is your professor also saying, I will not give you letter of recommendation? Here in this video, I will show you 5 steps in which you can get letter of recommendation from your professors. So if you're interested, keep watching. So first of all, who are new to the channel, my name is Rijul and I am pursuing Masters in Data Science from UC Irvine this fall. And this video is basically for anyone who is in the process of making applications, and the most important part, like not the most important, one of the most important parts is a letter of recommendation. Now, first of all, you have to get 3 letters of recommendations from your professors to get into a top tier university, and this is a process where it is not in your hand, right? Everything, the GRE, IELTS as well as SOP, resume is in your hand, but this part is not in your hand. So letter of recommendation is basically a letter which the professor writes to the university. So basically what happens is, let me tell you the process quickly. You give the professor's email ID. The university sends a request to the professor, and the professor has to upload or write the letter of recommendation that, hey, I am recommending this student to your university and he or she has this and this capabilities. It's up to him or her how they write it. So this is what basically a letter of recommendation is, and you need at least 3, like I'm saying that at least 3 for to get into a top tier, for example Columbia, Stanford, because they ask for 3 letter of recommendation. Now, where is the problem here? The problem is basically when they do not give you LOR. So, for example, you go to a professor and say that, hey, I am applying for this and this university. Please recommend me for this university. And they say that, hey, we don't have time and we cannot give you LOR and we cannot give you LOR for these many universities. So, this is where the problem comes in. The solution is this video. I'll give you 5 steps here in which you can ask an LOR, and short way of getting 99% accuracy, because I myself have worked these 5 steps into my university applications. So let us start. First step is know the professor. So you just cannot go to a person and say that, hey, I need your letter of recommendation. So this is why the first step is very important. You have to know the professor, because you will be in constant touch with him or her for the next 2 to 3 months, because you will be asking them LOR for each and every application there. So now don't just go and ask the for example professor that, hey, I need your LOR. Go to a professor who or you have worked a project under, you have done research under. For example, I asked the professor who I published 2 to 3 research papers with. I asked him for the LOR, and trust me, it was still a very hectic process, because they most of the time professors don't have time for LORs. So first of all, you have to know the professor. You have to ensure that there is a good communication between you two. Step is ask them in early. For example, today is November 17, or today is November 17, and you are going to be applying, for example, to any university. The first deadline is coming December 15. Go and ask them for a letter of recommendation right now. Go and ask them not just for LOR, give a thought to their head that, hey, I'll be applying to this university and you might be receiving a letter of recommendation request, so please do that. Don't go for the deadline, because they in my case what happened was the professor was on leave for some days. I couldn't manage the LOR, and eventually I could not apply for that university. So this is very important step here. You have to tell them in advance that, hey, LOR will be coming in this and this time frame. Give them a time frame that December 1 to December 15 or December 15 to December 30 you'll be receiving a lot of LORs from the university. So please check your email and fill them as soon as you can, because in December 15 and upwards, New Year starts, Christmas starts, so a lot of professors will be going on leave. So this is where you have to do it right now. Just go to your professor and tell him that, hey, I'll be applying and you must be receiving an email. So there's a thought in their head, they're not taken aback when you just go on December 2 or 3 that, hey, this person came to me directly, I do not know what to do. They might say that, hey, I do not have time. At least now they will have time and they will support you. Is make them easy for it. For example, if my professor is recommending me for the MSc Data Science program, which I asked him for, he or she has to know what I have done in the data science program first of all. So I gave my professor a resume, as well as volunteer activities which I have done, internships, work experience, as well as other things which he asked me he should include or not. So these all things you have to give. You have to give the input to the professor. Now, after giving your input, he or she when starts drafting their LOR, it will be easy for them because they can accumulate a lot of points into the LOR, and it will be very easy, and like they will do it very swiftly. So if they have to make an LOR by themselves, it will be very difficult because they don't know you. So provide them with your name, academic details, your GPA, resume, internships, work experience, your volunteer activities. So all of these information you have to give to them, and then it's up to them. So always make it easy for them. Number 4 tip, which is the most important here, is following up. So don't follow up like constantly. For example, you have a deadline for December 15, right? And you constantly follow up. I know it's very tough and like stressful period that, hey, I might miss an LOR deadline, and it is like very possible that you might miss an LOR deadline, but don't follow up more than once or twice a week, because if they get irritated and if they say that, hey, I won't be able to give. In my case, it happened. I went to a professor and I told her that, hey, I will be requiring your LOR. She did it in two to three universities, and then as I was applying, because if you are aiming for the US, you will be applying for 15 to 20 universities at least, I'm saying. So you need a person who you can communicate well with and who is very patient with you. So what happened was, like, she said that, hey, after 3 LORs I cannot give. I don't have time and that all stuff. So I had to search for another professor. So this is where the struggle comes in. I do not follow up. I didn't follow up much with her, but I don't know what was the case there. So anyways, don't follow up more than twice a week, and keep them in touch. The last step here is show gratitude. So when I was done with the application process, when I applied and I got an admit, and all of these things when they fall into place and you finally get an admit, and when you're deciding for the universities, show them gratitude. Like, go there and sit with them, talk to them, and say that, hey, thank you for the help, I really appreciate it, and without you I could not have done the application. Because it is true, right? Because the GRE, IELTS, resume, all of these stuff are dependent upon you. You can do it alone, but for the LOR you have to depend on other people, which is your professors. So show them gratitude, say them thank you, or like bring them a gift, or keep them keep in constant touch with them, and like keep eating them once or twice a week. And this is the best way to show gratitude and take an LOR. So this is it for the video, guys, and I hope you get a very clear view of how to get an LOR from a professor in 5 steps. And the next video coming is 15 tips for letter of recommendation, and trust me, it will be the best video of LOR you will ever see. And the next video is coming soon. So if you have any questions or doubts, you can comment down below. I will be very happy to help you. And you can also follow my Chorus page, USA Masters Hub, where I post like content related to masters in USA specifically, and you can follow me there. और बस इस वीडियो के लिए इतना ही. मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में. तब तक के लिए बाय बाय. Coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in.